Okay, makes sense. So the reality for me, when I realised this, and it was around about the time when we would have met Penny, those many years ago, was that all these years, all we've been doing is applying painkiller to this. We haven't actually been fixing the reason why it exists like this. We've just effectively been masking it and moving it somewhere else. And in doing that, we increase the complexity and we actually increase the severity of the symptoms. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what's causing it. If we fix the cause of it, to a very large extent, a lot of this is going to go away. All right. So that's the essence of it. There is another question which I just recall now. Yesterday I was talking about customers. And the way we think of it from our outside-in perspective, there are only really 3 types of customer. So I've got this little diagram up here. Now this we don't normally get into until level 4 or 5, and you guys are in level 2 now. You will be in level 4 or 5 tomorrow, but I'm going to leave it here. There's only 3 types of customer that any organisation in the world ever deal with. There's the primary, and that's where the money comes from. All right, and that primary customer is the people who provide the revenue effectively, or if you're a charity, the contributions, or if you're a government, the citizens and the taxation. All right. You then have secondary customers, those people who are interested in the success of the process but not directly involved. Remember, process is the customer experience, and customer experience is the process. Hence we've got CX there for customer experience. All right. And then you have internal, that's everyone else. But that doesn't mean internal to the business, that means internal to the customer experience. So you can identify those 3 types of customer. And sure enough, at the advanced levels, when we come in and do like level 6, 7 and 8 champions, the first thing we do is working with, say, your organisation, say it was NAB. What we would do is we would do a customer categorization exercise to actually figure out in terms of who you deal with, who are your customers, right? And then it's a choice about who are we going to focus on to fix first. So which customer experience will we go to start fixing? And my advocacy is always there, go and fix the worst problem first. You can always do a proof of concept. You go, no, it's going to take 5 days, whatever we do, whether we fix an invoice or whether we fix the worst, customer experience in the building. It's still going to only take 5 days. Some organisations I reflected on yesterday, like Uber, regard the most important customer in their context as the employee, the driver. Because without getting the internal customer right, they can't deliver for the primary. Likewise, Richard Branson, you saw him on the video yesterday, and he talked about giving all his staff the capability, the techniques and tools. Now that isn't about having smart call centres. That's about those people who are in the customer experience centre actually being rewarded more than the top team would be, because they're dealing with our most precious resource. Of course, you don't get there overnight. You've got to actually think about why have we been recruiting in the way that we've been recruiting and assuming that everybody has to go up this fictional hallucinatory pyramid that we talked about yesterday. But that gives you a clear line of sight as well, and of course you can categorise everybody into that and then decide where you're going to do work. So in terms of BMW, we mentioned them yesterday, they have 24 categories of primary customer. So 24 sources of revenue. Okay. Southwest Airlines have got 8. We mentioned Ryanair briefly yesterday, they've got 1. So you can identify what categories of customer you've got. And of course, those categories of customer determine how complex the world is going to be once you've resolved it. So you can imagine Ryanair's, how complex is their business? Not very complex at all. So not surprisingly, they are consistently the most profitable airline in Europe with the highest seat utilisation, right? And yet any of us in the room don't fall in that categorisation of their customer. We would have an unpleasant experience and we decide we never want to fly with them again. And they were good, fantastic, that's excellent news. We've managed those people away.